Hi guys, Crypto Vit here, and I wanted to discuss a few coins with you guys. So recently there has been a lot of hype around a couple of really big coins. I think most of you guys are very familiar with one of them, I'm sure. In the last several months, one coin kind of just came out of nowhere. Nobody, quite honestly, knew for what reason, and I'm talking about Raiblocks. So just in the last few months, let's just take a look at the chart here. Raiblocks has gone up literally about 170 times. Just since mid-November, it was trading for about 14 cents, and it reached a crazy amount of almost over $30. I'm invested into Raiblocks myself. I downloaded their wallet recently. I have an online wallet of theirs. Um, have a few Raiblocks on here. Just this is insignificant. Reason I actually signed up for this wallet is simply just for the purpose of this video, so you can show you guys. I'm gonna look at their actual downloadable wallet from their website, um, and just kind of just briefly go over the details. Now, what is Raiblocks? So how is Raiblocks any different than Bitcoin? Well, Raiblocks it works on a block lattice system. It's not like the blockchain network. It's a block lattice system. So all the transactions are processed on a individual basis. So, for example, every person you could pretty much say has their own uh, blockchain, which pretty much means block lattice. But every person would have their own personal blockchain. So every time a transaction is processed, that's why it processes so much more quicker because it's almost like I've heard one of the crypto guys on here call it like a tangle. So pretty much it's on a tangle system, and it's processed for that reason so much quicker. Now, why is that important? Well, realistically, I think everybody's familiar with why how Bitcoin has been struggling recently. I mean, the networks are so congested. Transaction fees are just ridiculous. We're talking about the fees are just as high as $40, $50 for even not the biggest transaction for microtransactions. Forget about it. It's unrealistic. But Raiblocks, on the other hand, are basically feeless and they're instantaneous. They're instant. So there's a reason for that. Now, a lot of people have been real skeptical about it and said, "Hey, well, why didn't Raiblocks explode, months ago, or even it's been out, if you look at their chart, they've literally been out since, let's just wait for it to load. They've literally been out since I think since May. Let me just double check the chart will finally load up here. Yes. Yeah, since March actually. So why didn't they explode right away? Well, here's the thing. When they first came out, they were still in development. They were developing a lot of things, and if you visit their website here, you can actively go into their GitHub, and which I actually recommend everybody do. Anytime you're looking to invest into any kind of project, first go into their GitHub and check out the amount of work has been put into it. This is very simple. You look at their commits. That's really huge. Look at how active they are within their commits there. There's individual projects within those commits. You can kind of go through those piece by piece. If you look at, there's a couple from 2 days ago, 2 days ago, and these are all individual projects. You also look at their contributors. Always look at their contributors because the contributors will actually show you how much active contributors are on this project. Which, if you look here, it's been consistent ever since the project came out. There's a little bit of a dead zone here. I'm not exactly sure why that was. I've only been following this project for so long, but if you look at the most recent activity, it's been quite consistent. There's been a big growth since even today's date. So all these are current contributors to this project. Basic contributors. What contributors means is developers. So, and this is the amount of lines that the code that they've added. This is the amount of lines of code that they've, basically deleted. And it's just basically adjustments, back and forth adjustments. And you can scroll through here. They have quite a bit of different developers here. Granted, a lot of them practically have no activity, but and a majority of them are done by, say, the top four developers. But it's still a very, very, very active project. Now, my only skepticism about this project is their wallet is just it's absolutely it's absolutely it's so small. Like if you take a glance at it, and it's just it looks so cheap. It looks like it's from the early 2000s. Granted, they will be releasing a better wallet with time to come. I know that for a fact. I think a lot of people are just relying on their online wallet right now, which I recommend. Don't keep anything online. That's just I keep some of my money online. I keep as you guys can see, I keep a small portion of Vibe, which actually that's one of the other altcoins I'll be discussing today is Vibe. Tron, I've been in and out of Tron. I actually rode the train from 3 cents all the way up to 30 cents. Was able to get out on some of that ride, but as many never ever expected for Tron to hit down to 6 or 7 cents, even actually 4 or 5 cents when Bitcoin was at its lowest point. But that being said, I'm not going to talk about Tron today because that's not part of our topics. But back to Raiblocks here. So they have a really good GitHub, and if you look at kind of their roadmap, they've been really staying on top of things. Now, let's just discuss why they've become such a big deal. So you guys have to understand when Bitcoin is congested and the transaction fees are so high, Raiblocks has practically no fees. Literally no fees. They're extremely quick to process. Like right now, if I had another wallet to send to, I could literally send these Raiblocks to another wallet, and it's instant. And the reason why it's instant is because every single computer it actually processes some of the computing power out of your own processor, especially when you take into consideration how fast it is. It uses your computing power to send those transactions through. That's kind of how that Tango works. Is because instead of going through a massive blockchain platform in a system, it gets integrated through individual computers, which it's massive, and it's a really efficient system. So now, as soon as the amount of users gets increased, there's something called scalability. How would it be scaled? So clearly with Bitcoin, it's a challenge because there's millions of people constantly using Bitcoin, and they never took into consideration the fact that it was going to be so congested. So when these platforms are growing and more people are using them, then the truth comes out about these platforms and these systems that are behind these platforms. Now it's very important to consider with the reason why they haven't been here. Let's look into here 1 second. Just another reason why I think Raiblocks is a huge part of our future. I mean, even I'm realistically, it's hard to look at hard to look at an altcoin and think, hey, well, this altcoin has grown 170 times. Granted, it went up to the $30 range, and it dropped down to roughly around $12. It's on its way back up right now after the massive correction that we've been seeing in the last couple of weeks. But it is the future. This coin is very scalable, even with what they've currently released. They've proven time and again that they are scalable on a very large scale. And I think as time progresses, even with the Lightning network coming out, they say, well, that's going to be more efficient for the blockchain network. I don't personally think that's going to make a difference. I still think Raiblocks has the potential to be one of the top altcoins in the top 10 by the end of the year. I mean, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't quote me on this, but I see the potential being compared to all the altcoins. If we go through the altcoins just a little bit here, let's go to the top 10. God, I have some of the fastest internet, and the loading speeds are just ridiculous. So if you go to the top 10 here, you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, Cardano. Cardano doesn't even have a working product. Stellar. A lot of these top 10 don't even have a working product. Now IOTA is not a bad coin. I was actually invested into that. It has a very similar concept to Raiblocks, but IOTA has been really vulnerable. It's been having issues with people hacking into their networks. I don't know if that's inside jobs or whatever the case is. I'm not going to say anything bad about them because I do still believe in the IOTA project, but like I said, they're also another project that hasn't even fully been developed. EOS has nothing, and since the day they've come out, I love EOS, and I think they have a lot of potential. They're still using the ERC20 tokens, and they haven't really been fully, um, integrated into a platform. They're going to release their actual EOS platform this summer. So a lot of people are quietly and patiently waiting for that. There's quite a bit of hype around all that. God, I can't even get my internet to load. Uh, Anyways, let me go in here a little bit. Close out some of my windows. Sorry about that. So, anyways, EOS. So EOS, it doesn't have a working product yet, just like anything else. I mean, I think honestly, in my opinion, EOS doesn't even belong in the top 20 at the current state. Now, Raiblocks, it's in a very early stage in its development. It still has a lot of room for growth, but I think it's in an early stage compared to what their potential is. If you look at the actual exchanges it's being traded on currently, the exchanges are very limited, so not a lot of people can even get Raiblocks at the given time. I mean, the current markets that they're on is mostly a KuCoin. It's not even on any massive big ones, but this list is actually exponentially growing. I mean, considering just a few short weeks ago, they were only on about 5 or 6 exchanges. So a lot of these exchanges have been added. Nevertheless, that's all I'm going to say about Raiblocks. Keep an eye on it for one of the biggest coins of 2018. I think honestly, just my opinion, of course. I mean, I hold about at this given time about 2,500 Raiblocks. So I mean, you guys can do the math. I'm not that heavily invested into it. But I believe I'm gonna hold on to it. This is a coin I'm gonna hold on to till the end of 2018. I think by December of 2018, this coin could be well over $100. I'm thinking even closer to the 200 mark. As soon as it crosses the 50 to $70 mark, it's going to grow exponentially from there. I think it's as soon as it reaches 70, for it to go from 70 to over 200 is very, very, very easy and very possible. With such an active development and development team behind the project, it has a lot of potential. So my other project that I wanted to look at and discuss is Vibe. Sorry, Vibe. I apologize. Yeah, Vibe. So what is Vibe? So this is their Twitter here currently. And let's access their website. Many of you probably have heard of Vibe. So what is Vibe? So let's look at their graph while that loads. Quite honestly, I don't know what the reason for my god awful slow internet is. I'm supposed to get 20 megabytes per second. Sorry, 200 megabytes per second. Anyways, so Vibe recently has had a lot of growth. In the last couple of weeks, it's grown drastically. It went from being a measly 40 cents to having like a 7 times growth up to um, what is this, $2.43 on, because it hit Binance. Binance has a very, very aggressive market, so it literally exponentially grew. And of course, it corrected. This is when the market took a kind of a dip. I think honestly, if it wasn't for the market correcting it, it probably would have consistently just started going up. I don't know about this rate like this, but it would consistently start going up. So if you look at it's going downwards, and it's starting to trade sideways. So I think our support levels are roughly around 75, 80, 80. I think honestly even 80 cents or so. And I mean, it's sitting at about 93 cents. This is a very safe time to get into Vibe. You guys probably seen, I have a little bit of Vibe little bit of Vibe myself, about 20,000. I don't keep a majority of my positions on exchanges. Just a very small portion in case I want to do a little bit of day trading. I have some here and there. If it goes up a lot, I might flip it, sell it, and then maybe get back in on the dips and stuff. Do a little bit of that, but at the end of the day, I still think that Vibe has a huge potential for growth, because if you look at their website here, so what is Vibe? Let's get into this. Vibe is hybrid chain system. It's a VR system. So virtual reality is our future, guys. I mean, you guys have to understand that. They have a really solid project plan for their future. If you looked at their white papers, it goes kind of through their projects, what they're trying to do, kind of these holograms. I think for some of you guys that have been around, remember what happened with that hologram where Tupac, they basically recreated Tupac, and I have reason to believe this looks like Dr. Dre right here in this hologram. But they made a Tupac hologram, and a lot of people were convinced the fact that Tupac came back to life, and it was just kind of it was a game changer. And this company plans to develop the technology for this. And then for those that have heard of Oculus, virtual reality beta, and so forth, this has a lot of potential. I think the virtual reality field has so much potential to grow in the next couple of years here. It is our future. I think our TVs are soon going to be connected to virtual reality. I mean, the 3D TVs currently weren't a very huge success. They literally um, they literally were um, they had a lot of criticism from the public. They said our eyes hurts, it's not efficient enough, it's not real 3D, and so forth. Now virtual reality, that's a huge step up. I mean, you look at some of these partnerships and the hardware that they partnered up with Monster Technology. That's massive. They have PS4 on board here, Samsung Gear VR, Oculus, of course, HTC Vive is another three-dimensional program. They're currently listed on three pretty big exchanges. Of course, Binance is massive, hit BTC. This is kind of their roadmap. Always look at the roadmap to see what you're getting yourself into. We're currently sitting on quarter one. Integrate our off-chain solution for microtransactions. That's what they're working on now. And first of many VR performances live on beta platform using the Vibe currency. So you're going to be able to watch live performances um, with the currency. So it's actually going to be a working product here shortly. And if you look at their team, they have a very, very solid team behind them. These guys, Aliso Mack, co-founder, futurist of Tech and Tech Guru, these guys are really good, and they're experts in their fields. And I think honestly, this virtual reality company, and they're kind of one of a kind. There isn't a whole lot of virtual reality companies out there. So they're kind of dominating this space at the given time. And you have to remember that any company that comes into this space and they start to dominate, they become the early adopters and in the marketing field, that's called the early adopters, and they have potential for massive growth. So that's basically my two big picks for 2018. I'm still gonna rave about uh, ECC, because ECC is still one of my biggest projects. I take a huge part in promoting and marketing ECC, the ECC coin. If for anybody that's interested, and a very, very cheap coin to get into that has potential to exponentially grow within the next couple of months, for sure within the next couple of years. They have an amazing wallet. And if you look at their current wallet right now, even just it wasn't part of our initial discussion, but if you look at their current wallet, their current wallet here actually has some pretty awesome features. And if you look at these two wallets. Look at Raiblocks wallet, and I mean, this is a $2 billion company. And look at ECC's wallet. This is 10 times the wallet, and it's insane. And here's the actual wallet that they're going to be releasing here in the time to come. This is called the Sapphire wallet. I just got this off their website, right off their the website for their future wallet here. And this is just kind of a preview of what's going to look like. Syncing power, and it's just sleek. It looks very professional. They're going to have file storage, messaging, contacts, And this technology here is just, it's going to be incredible. I think enough companies don't focus on the technology behind how to integrate good usability and make it integrated with a lot of good systems. So that being said, please follow below. Have any comments for me? Comment on the bottom there. If I said something out of context, and I would love to for you to let me know, or if I said something that you guys don't absolutely agree with, let me know. Give me some input. I've been a crypto enthusiast for quite a long time now. I was in the penny stock industry for quite a while. That's actually how I know a lot about this trade. And a lot of the hype that cryptocurrency is getting is very, very similar to when the penny stock industry was booming. I think we're getting a lot of the same kind of mentality and the same kind of style of trading going on. Very aggressive, very volatile. It could kind of turn really, really quick. It can go up very fast and go down very fast. So that's my input for 2018. I think Raiblocks, Vibe, my two biggest holders. ECC, of course, I'm gonna hold for a very, very long time. That coin, of course, I'm not necessarily promoting in this video. That's just something that I truly believe in. And you guys can go ahead and check out Raiblocks and tell me what you think. Thank you.